Do you like challenges? Do you find it hard to feel confident about your choices in life? Do you feel intimidated by the tasks at hand and find excuses to not do them? Hello everyone, and welcome to another brand new episode on my channel, Wonder Boho Book Club. Today I'll be discussing the book, Your Best Year Ever, a 5-step plan for achieving your most important goals, written by Michael Hyatt. Michael Scott Hyatt is an American author, podcaster, blogger, speaker, and the CEO and founder of Michael Hyatt and Company. He has written several books about leadership, productivity, and goal setting. In Your Best Year Ever, Hyatt will help you set your goals for your business as well as personal life and create an effective plan to achieve them. You will also learn how to design your best year ever in just 5 hours, 3 easy ways to help make your goals more likely to succeed, how to tackle goals when they feel too difficult, and lots of other things. You can make incredible progress in your personal goals by reading the advice written in these pages. Before moving ahead, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Part 1. The 10 aspects of your life you need to work on. When fantasizing about what you might have in a year's time, it's important to ask yourself what your goals are. A lot of people want to break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, be healthy, have satisfying relationships, and lead a fulfilling life. It may seem hard to achieve these things, but the author assures us that it's certainly doable. In fact, he says setting goals in 10 different areas of your life simultaneously is a helpful way of seeing what you need to focus on. These 10 areas are mental health, physical health, spirituality, intellectual life, marriage or partnerships, parental life, friendships, job, hobbies, and personal finances. The most important aspects of life are the ones that make you happy. That's why you should never stop improving these aspects. At the beginning, rank yourself from 0 to 10 on each of these aspects so you know what you're striving for. You can also compare results from previous checkpoints and see your progress that way. This also helps you figure out exactly where to put your focus on. Most of these aspects are interconnected, which means improvement in one will create growth in the other ones too. For example, people who have a fulfilling home life will be productive workers, but at the same time, people who have a rich social life might meet their dream partner. Similarly, not being good at something might make it more difficult for you to be good at other things. If you're not taking care of your health, then it might affect your work performance. Or, if you're spending way too much time at your workplace, then it might affect your marriage. Part 2. Overcome your mental blocks. A lot of us have mental blocks that are stopping us from achieving what we want. The most common mental block is the one that we have towards ourselves. We may have an idea or opinion, but are too afraid to voice it in fear of what others will think of us. Also, most of us have false assumptions about ourselves and others, and these false assumptions often become obstacles in our path to success. Assumptions like, "I'll never be good enough," or "People would laugh at me if I pursue my dream career," will only add to our woes and our unhealthy thoughts. This type of mental blocks can be overcome by practicing self-confidence and self-love, which will allow us to speak up without fear of being judged or ridiculed. Part 3. Learn from your failures. You might find it hard to feel confident in the future if you had a negative experience in the past. For example, if you have had a bad experience with a certain type of food, you might not want to eat it again. Also, when someone has experienced a failure in the past, their confidence in their ability to succeed at something new may decrease because of it. This is because humans are more likely to remember negative experiences than positive ones. This phenomenon is called negativity bias, and it affects our decision-making skills as well as our emotions. However, the author believes that past failures should not have any impact on your future actions. Instead, any past mistakes should be used as a learning lesson for what to do or not do in a new situation. Here, the author cites an example from his own life. The author was once working with a client with whom he hoped to sign a publishing contract. He had invested almost a whole year into this deal. However, the client decided to go with another publishing house instead of the author's towards the end. Instead of feeling disheartened, the author decided to apply the lessons he had learned during the last year to his company and improve it. For example, he realized that he should not depend on a single client, and this helped him enlarge his network. Also, he learned to be clear and specific about the expectations of his and his clients out of the business partnerships from the very beginning, so that there is no ambiguity later on. Part 4. Keep your goals challenging and realistic. Setting challenging goals is important to motivate oneself. However, it is also important to keep them realistic and achievable. There is a fine line between setting challenging goals and setting unrealistic ones. Unrealistic goals are those that are too difficult or impossible to achieve. If we set goals that are too high and we do not have the skill set or resources to complete them, they can become a source of frustration. Challenging goals are those goals that are not easy to achieve, but not impossible either. In order to set challenging but realistic goals, one should first identify the skill sets they need in order to complete their goal. Then, they should make sure that the goal is well defined and achievable by looking at the resources available and setting a timeline for completion. Let's say you're training to become an athlete. Now, winning at the Olympics might be an ambitious goal, but if you aim to do so within the very first year of your training, then it's quite absurd. In order to excel at the Olympics, you need to train for several years. On the other hand, if you aim for the Olympics after 10 years of training, then the goal might seem too far off and you might not feel the impetus to act on it. What the author suggests is that you should find your discomfort zone, that is, the zone where you feel sufficiently challenged to achieve your goal and keep it realistic at the same time. In this example, you could focus on winning the regional and national level competitions within the first 2 years, which will help you gain confidence to compete in the Olympics. Thus, setting challenging goals will help you stay motivated and focused on what you need to do in order to accomplish them. To listen to more interesting summaries, please subscribe to my channel. Part 5. Split up your tasks and become addicted to them. When you set a lofty goal for yourself, it can be difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It can be hard to motivate yourself to get started and even harder to stay on track. But when you break up your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks, the rewards are more satisfying. The first step is always the hardest, but once you start breaking down that big goal into small tasks, it becomes easier and easier. You might even find that you enjoy doing something every day rather than waiting until you feel like doing a whole bunch of things at once. One thing you can do to ensure the continuity of the task is just try and move on to the task with determination. This way, you will eventually become addicted to it. The more you work on a task, the more addictive it becomes. In fact, research has shown that it takes humans on average of 66 days to convert a task into an addictive habit. Introducing rewards can also encourage one to get addicted to a task. It's easier to stay on a task when there is a reward at the end of it. A reward can be anything, from getting a pat on the back to getting paid for your work. In a study by B.F. Skinner, it was found that pigeons would peck at a button for food as long as they were rewarded with food every time they pecked the button. Skinner's pigeon experiment is an example of operant conditioning, which is when a person learns to perform certain behaviors in order to gain rewards or avoid punishments. In operant conditioning, the rewards or punishments are called reinforcers. The reinforcer can be anything that the individual finds rewarding, tangible or intangible. For example, if you have just finished a nice workout at the gym and you feel good about yourself because of it, this might be your reward for going to the gym regularly and following your exercise routine. Also, sometimes it's the joy of doing something or just the general feeling of moving forward that could provide a sense of reward. Part 6. Remind yourself the reason behind your motivation. If you develop an emotional attachment to a task and see it through, it will be easier to finish it. In order to form an emotional attachment with a task, it's important to first identify the main motivations for completing the task. Asking yourself questions such as, do you want to feel accomplished? Do you want to feel like you're improving your skills? Do you want to feel like your work is meaningful? Will help determine whether or not you should stick to the task. Don't worry if others think your reasons are not good enough. Just do whatever is meaningful to you and make sure it feels right to you. The next step is to stay consciously aware of your motivations at all times. Making a written list of your motivations could be a great way to achieve this. You should keep the list handy and refer to it whenever you feel distracted from your path or tempted to deviate from your track. If you want to motivate yourself even more, make sure that your reason defines who you are as a person. Humans are social creatures, and we define ourselves in relation to others through our relationships with them. We can be defined by how we see ourselves or how others see us, and this is true both for individuals and groups. For example, identifying yourself as an athlete might motivate you to put long hours into your practice. Part 7. Find good allies. The most successful people in the world have a team of people around them who support their goals. This is a very important part of the process, because if you don't have someone to support your goals, you will never be able to achieve them. You can find these people in many different areas of your life: family, friends, mentors, and even your own conscience. According to the author, Getting involved in communities is one of the best ways of finding supportive people to help you with your goals. It may sometimes be difficult to find new friends or even family that support your mission, so it's important to find like-minded individuals who want the same things as you do. Some communities are geared towards specific topics, such as fitness or photography. Others are more general, like the social media group called One Love on Instagram. There are also communities that are centered around certain hobbies, like knitting or woodworking. Joining a community with similar goals to yours can help you get insights from people fighting the same battles. You might even find someone in the same shoes who has solved problems easier than you anticipated. Being part of a community is really important if you want the best chance of succeeding. There are 4 main reasons for this. Firstly, you can learn so many different things from other members. Secondly, competing with group members can help motivate you to do better. Third, being accountable to the community motivates us. And finally, being in a group makes us feel part of something important. The first step in joining a community is deciding what kind of things you want to do and what kind of people you want to meet. Once you have an idea for what kind of community would be best for you, search for it around your neighborhood or online and see if there is an online forum or chat room where people talk about the topics that interest you. Tutoring is another great way to learn new skills and improve on existing ones. A tutor can be an expert in a particular topic, or they can be a knowledgeable person who has been there before. Either way, they will have the knowledge to help you succeed in your endeavor. Tutors are typically used for education, but can also be used for other purposes, such as providing assistance with a skill or teaching someone how to do something. The author suggests hiring a life coach if you want to improve certain aspects or even the overall quality of your life. Conclusion. To have a great year, you need to divide your time and efforts equally over the 10 different aspects of your life. If you want to succeed and make changes in your life, your goals need to be manageable, realistic, and set out clearly so that you really know what you're working towards. Also, it's extremely important to find a strong support group that will make you feel like you're important and allow you to become addicted to daily tasks. Following these simple rules will help you live a productive and fulfilling life. Thank you for watching this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe. Your likes, comments, and shares are highly appreciated. See you soon in our next episode.